my cat hairs.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I'm sure I have
You're not shedding.
a lot
You're not shedding.
somewhere.
Okay, so give it a minute as, the peeps are knowing that we're live now. All right.
Happy Friday.
Yay! Happy Friday! Whoop whoop! Hello, everybody. It's Mama Santi here for Mama Santi's House with Holly and Izzy. And today we are super excited to talk about the interconnectedness of people, like the collective of your people, right? Like, especially when you become like super duper close to someone or a group of people, the connectedness, the ties, the quantum entanglement. What does that look like? What does that feel like? And in a sense, in this reality, as well as the others, if that wants to come through as well, right? Yeah. This is a funky topic and definitely love talking about the funky stuff. So here we go. Holly, would you like to start?
Yes, I've had actually 2 really great experiences. And it's always when Santi is performing her massage or doing some kind of cleansing, and I'm very connected to Santi. And so one of the experiences was she's in one massage room, I'm in the other massage room, and I'm doing my massage, and all I could do is start giggling because I feel like I'm being lifted out of the room, and I have to grab this person's ankles because I'm floating to the ceiling. And I'm like, okay, Santi, what you doing in that room? And I love that one. And then yesterday I just had an experience where I was doing a massage and I wasn't in the shop at that time.
You were in a completely different location.
Yeah.
I was here at the office with a client performing a healing ceremony, and
while I'm doing the massage, all of a sudden my hair starts moving and I feel this whirling of wind. And I'm into the last 15 minutes of my session. So I've done this, haven't felt this wind, and this wind picks up. My hair starts to move, and I'm looking at the ceiling fan like, did the ceiling fan just kick on? And then boom, white light. And so I get to the shop, and I'm sharing this experience with the client and with Santi, and the client's going, oh my God, yes, Santi was calling in the wind, and she was doing this to perform a release. And I'm like, okay, because when I looked up, I felt the ceiling fan going like this, and then boom, white light. So I just love that we're so interconnected.
yeah,
And you're my family.
I love you so much. I love you so much. That's incredible. That's an incredible experience. That's like major super confirmations for me, because when we are in our healing sessions, we just do what we do, and we're working in the quantum, which means we're working in all these different dimensions, realms, time, space, and since we are connected, and it's like, this is what I felt. Taking it back. We're all a part of a collective, right? We're part of a collective consciousness, and then we split, but we still are part of this collective, and we're putting our energy out there. Our energy is out there, and it touches the people and brings them in, and they start to come through. So when you guys came through, I was very excited because I'm like, oh, sister, mother, daughter, friends, It's insane. It's an amazing experience. I just love that so much. And then it's like, I feel like it also enhances all of our healing that we are assisting each individual in groups with, because we are able to hold this beautiful space. We're creating these beautiful hubs and pathways for the energy to transmute and ripple out and really just bring in this wonderful healing aspect in all the ways,
Yeah, absolutely.
and as you were saying last week, we all bring something different to the table. So we all have these gifts, and they kind of build upon each other.
They do. They work with each other. That's something Krista and I always experience. We actually call each other twin.
Yeah.
Because we will be going through the same thing at the same time. Whether it's like downloads. Actually, yesterday we were testing it. I was like, I'm thinking of an animal. What is it? And she's like, I'm eating this candy. What is it? And we both like almost got it. But it's more so what we're going through in our healing. Mm-hmm. Like her and I will just always wind up saying the same thing, the same nuances, and going through the same thing. So we do feel super connected. And like we're connected with you guys too. Yeah. It's just her and I, we see a lot of synchronicities together.
Yep.
So it's a beautiful thing to experience because you're not experiencing it alone. There is that quantum entanglement. There is that, like, okay, why are we both going through the same thing at the same time? It's because I feel like we're training.
Yes.
Well, and you guys are on the same wavelength. You guys are vibrating at that same level.
Frequency,
for sure.
Matching the frequencies.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that, what you guys are doing is great practice. It's practice for enhancing your psychic abilities, which Izzy is leading a workshop this Saturday on the 4th with the Force, right? For learning that anyone can be a psychic because everyone is psychic, and it's so exciting to help people see their natural gifts, their natural abilities.
Absolutely. Obviously I'm teaching the class. I'm a big believer that everybody is psychic, and everyone just doesn't understand what psychic means, all the clairsenses, and everyone just thinks like, oh, it's something visual, but it presents differently for everyone. Mm-hmm. You guys, I've seen it, Kristen, her body.
Yeah.
Her body just has a full-on shake when she's getting a download.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, let's talk about that. Mm-hmm. Being in the energy. Yeah. You know, when you're leaning into the frequency, our body can feel that frequency, and a lot of times we'll start to move with that frequency. Even when we are super grounded, we start to move to feel into that frequency, and then that's the frequency we are assisting the healing through, and we're pulling things through.
That makes sense, because if I'm getting a download or I'm trying to tap in, is what I call it, I have to go to a specific space. And it's really difficult to describe. I know I've seen Santi go to her space, Holly goes to hers, but it's almost like you like go to the side of something and tap in. Mm-hmm. It's conscious tapping in. It's not just like information pouring through. Sometimes it is intentional, because I think sometimes in the psychic world it's like, oh, you just get information coming in all the time. No, you can actually choose to tap into someone's energy or tap into some energy and then get information from that, with respect and consent, of course.
Mm-hmm. Right, always. There is something called free will, and so the person does need to allow. I mean, they don't need to. I mean, you could totally do it, but that is against that person's will, and that for me is a big no-no.
Me too.
You know, and also in the essence of boundaries are super duper important. Boundaries are very protective, you know, for yourself as well as the other person. Here we really lean into, you know, the client's higher self. So we're like leaning into the higher self. We are connecting, tapping in. To the person's higher self, and we're pulling information from the person's higher self and relaying it back to them.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and then with you, I really love how Izzy reads, because it's like the energy you're in today, this is this, and this is the outcome if you remain in this energy. The energy can always change, so if you go to a psychic and, you know, that is what's available to you at that time, and if it doesn't happen, it's because you made a different decision. You made a different choice, which created a different path, which you went a different way. So therefore, in this life, in this reality, your path broke off, right?
Exactly. It's very much like therapy. Like, let's see where you're at in this moment. And I love to see trajectories. So, okay, if you're going through something, what does it look like if you continue to make that choice? And then what does it look like if you completely pivot and go a different route. And so people have the option to say, okay, I do want to continue to nurture this. I want to continue to feed this kind of reality. Versus, you know what, no, I don't want to be in this cycle of pain anymore. I don't want to keep repeating these habits, and so I'm going to choose differently. I think it's very empowering for the person, because instead of going to someone to tell you what to do, which I think is very much...
We all are there. We all just tell me what to do. I don't know what to do. Just tell me.
Exactly. And it's beautiful, of course, just like a friend. You want advice, but as you have to do the work yourself. You have to be the one to decide, no, I'm going to go this way, or no, actually, this is good for me. And it is empowering, but it is also a lot of hard work. But you feel so good when you actually make those decisions yourself versus someone telling you, this is what you have to do.
Yeah, I love that. That's beautiful.
And if I can jump back, because
Yes.
we kind of started
Bring it back,
as
baby.
far as when you feel like you get the downloads. And for me, I was thinking, when I feel a shift, I can feel it go through my body, and it's almost like a cracking of the neck. Like I just want to go pop, pop, and get a crack, and that means I shifted up.
Right, and clearing that channel
Mm-hmm.
to be able to match that frequency, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no going back. I mean, you could spiral down, but there's no going back. Like, you will never be where you are today again. That's it. Yeah, that's it. And, you know, a lot of times, that's why in the collective, a lot of the same things are happening because of that quantum entanglement, because of that interconnectedness. And how also with the downloads, everything that can happen has already happened. That we're in the quantum now, that multi-dimensional reality to where past, present, and future are happening simultaneously. You know, so it's like we're pulling from whatever has already happened, and we're shifting to match the frequency
And
to
healing.
where we want to be, like our ultimate goal and everything like that, right?
Exactly, yeah. I do think also in the healing moment, it ripples out into the other lives, into the other dimensions,
Yes.
the other moments, right?
Exactly.
So it's important to know, like, if something is shifting in this one, it's also shifting in the other ones.
Yes, the healing transmutes throughout time and space. I feel like that's where the Mandela effect comes in, because when we like are healing at a multi-dimensional level in the quantum and everything, we're shifting to our highest timeline or to whatever timeline we want to shift to, and rippling out the healing. In that essence, like something changes, something in the
Physical reality.
Oh yeah, we'll shift like the Bernstein Bear type thing,
for real.
you know? I mean, that's just my opinion, but that's how I'm feeling
No, it
lately.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. And then somewhere over the rainbow comes through. I don't know what that is.
On the other side.
Oh yeah, the other side of the rainbow, like the another lifetime or another dimensional life and stuff like that. Honestly, like I'm pulling through, like in my daily meditations and stuff like that, I really lean into one of the directions, the transformational direction. And you know what comes through a lot is different lifetimes of like higher tech and different things like that. And I can like pull information for my reality today. So I'm like, okay, now I know like where the glitch is, and then I can, you know, iron that out and like clear that channel and then just move forth. In essence, yeah.
That makes sense. That with past lives, at least with my research or working with clients, when you have past lives, I think it's super sweet that all of us are like, I want to know if I was a cat in another life. I want to know if I was, everybody was in Egypt. Seriously, everybody was in Egypt. But everybody so far. But it's beautiful because I try to bring it back to the moment of, okay, yes, these are beautiful lives. You're going through this, you're healing through this, but at the same time, how is this information helping us now? And that is what happens in every session, is what can we learn from our past? What is our past teaching us that we need to know in the now? And every time you go through a life, it's beautiful because everyone says one word. So imagine, your whole life is encompassed by one word. What did you learn in that life? What did you love? Oh, freedom. I loved someone. I knew what love was. Like your whole life encompassed in one word. It just really like, enlarges the picture versus the every moment. Like, well, if I don't do this one tiny thing today, no, you do it tomorrow. You do it next month.
Yeah.
You know, what is the big meaning of it?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Being present. Yeah. That's beautiful. I love that. Being present in that lifetime in your sessions and then bringing you back to the present in this lifetime in this reality. Like a lot of us really like to live in the alternate realities. We're daydreaming. We're like, you know, daydreaming. We're thinking about the future, or we're, you know, reiterating the past, or we're, you know, we're things, memories are coming up and out. And it's like being conscious of bringing ourselves present is super duper important, because we're like, what is this trying to tell me?
Yeah.
Like, where is the healing in here? How do I be present? Because we're in this reality most of the time.
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah.
So let's enjoy it, you know? Let's keep bringing ourselves present, and like, it isn't so bad. And when it does get so bad, just remembering that you'll never be there again. And, you know, moving through that space, what is it teaching you?
Exactly.
What is it teaching you for your greatest, highest good? We're not releasing or letting go of anything. We're integrating what we've learned from what this is teaching us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And feel good if you need to take some downtime to incorporate that. Because you can't
Yeah.
just keep on running. You need to take a moment, take a breath, and just let it sit.
Yeah, because you know what happens too is a lot of times, like, our body is kind of the last to know. Like, our body will be like, I'm sick, I have a fever, you need to rest, you need to heal, you need to stop what you're doing, or you're getting upgrades and just a lot of stuff is going on. You need to, slow down and stop. And our body will be like, you need to lay down.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Lay down.
Yeah.
You can't do it, you know? So just be down and utilize that time to really feel into yourself and to know what it is, or to just rest.
Absolutely. Holly, that was brilliant, because that's something,
Yeah.
I think when you're starting to have spiritual awakenings, everybody is in the next thing, what is this?
Yeah.
You're watching YouTube videos, you're doing tarot readings, you're absorbing all this information, because also in the rest, that's where so much of the information is integrated.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, everything starts clicking.
Yeah, and in the mundane as well, because like a lot of times in our awakening, we want to feel high. We want to be in that high, like where all the
That rush
synchronicities
and
are
chase.
coming through. Yeah, rush. We're chasing that feeling and everything. But we live in this mundane world, in this 3D reality. Like, we have responsibilities. There's just stuff that we have to do. We have to be mundane sometimes. It's like, you know, listen to hip hop. Like, do something that, you know, pulls you into the world and just be here.
Yeah,
You know?
be grounded.
Mhm.
Be grounded, be here, because knowing that it is a balance and it is a practice every day to just, you know, find your
Flow,
center
rest,
and
work.
just,
Life's hard, man.
life is hard, and then it's not, and then it's wonderful, and then it sucks.
Exactly.
It's everything. Life is.
And you really do need to experience all of that. Because if you're always chasing the high and always on the high, you don't appreciate it as much.
Yeah.
You need that pullback. You need that good cry.
Yeah.
Yeah. And on the flip side, if you rest, I'm not saying resting too much is bad. No, please rest. We're in a society where we don't rest enough. We're taught that everything is the grind. You know, you meet someone and the first thing they say is, "Hi, I'm Bob. Oh, what do you do for work, Bob?" That's always the first question. What do you do? How do you contribute to society, right? No, so please rest. But also, I think it's important to talk about how people will not sometimes, they'll get stuck. They won't know how to they won't know how to break through because it's hard work. And so what is the word I want to say? It's still push through. It's worth it. There we go. Be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be uncomfortable.
Look,
Yeah.
fear, and usually goes to fear, you know, be uncomfortable. How I like to explain this is like with the numbers, 1 to 10, you know, 1 or 0 to 10, and 5 right in the middle, because, you know, 1, 2, 3, we're like, you know, oh, here I am, and then we're balancing things out, and then we're collective in a group, and then we're super structured and stable, and then 5 comes along and like ruffles the feathers. It's that chaos number to create the uncomfortableness for change, right? For change. So a lot of times, like moving through the uncomfortableness is that change that is happening.
Don't be afraid to be uncomfortable. It feels super icky and mucky in the moment, but if you're ever feeling like stuck, like what is my purpose? Why do I feel so lost? Why do I feel so stuck? Know that you are constantly going to be presented by life, by the universe, by God, whatever you believe in, the opportunity to be uncomfortable. And if you're uncomfortable, you're doing it right, because it means at least you're working.
Growing.
You're
growing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're working through something. So if you're feeling stuck, get uncomfortable. Just take that one baby step, because I promise you that one baby step leads to that next step. And the universe is like, okay, I got you. Okay, I got you. Okay, I got you.
What I like to tell people is to like do something in the mundane, like take a different way to work, to shift the energy, you know, to open that door, to open any doors.
It changes the perspective because you're visualizing, you're seeing something different.
Right, exactly. Exactly. Love that.
But yeah, choose your discomfort is a big key right now, because like last week we talked about quitting corporate. So with corporate, I got a weekly paycheck. I was very, you know, I knew how to plan because I received a paycheck. But now I don't do the paycheck, but I'm a lot happier. So you've got to pick your discomfort. There's always going to be a little bit of a trade-off, but you've got to pick your discomfort.
That's wise, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Because a lot of time it's presented and stuff too, but we think we've been conditioned and programmed to be like, oh, I have to stay in corporate because it pays the bills and everything like that.
Exactly.
But it will break you mentally
Yeah.
and spiritually.
Or sometimes, you know, like with me, for example, like I would always think that I had to go get a job. I would go get a job, and then I'd be like, why am I even here? What is happening here? Like,
exactly.
you know, and then I would be, you know, the universe is kind of like, no, you need to be doing that stuff, the healing stuff, the
And that's when you get
other.
rewarded, because you're being authentic and you're doing what you're called to do.
Right.
What your soul feels drawn to do. Exactly.
But also, if you want to stay in corporate, there are ways that you can integrate spirituality and mindfulness in your corporate self. Lots of ways.
Absolutely.
You know, mindful minutes in the bathroom.
That is super sweet.
Yeah.
Go outside and hug a tree during lunch.
Right. Who cares what people think?
Yeah, seriously.
I have a funny story. Just remember this. I was working at a corporate, and I was like, there was a pond outside and ducks and everything. I was like, oh, I'm going to have my lunch, my salad at the pond with the ducks. And the ducks started attacking me and chasing me. And I was like throwing them all my salad to try to get them to leave me alone.
Oh my god.
I was like running around the table, and I just ran back. Oh, and then I have another story about a duck. So this is really cool too, because then, like, the universe always have messages for you. Always, in all the ways. They are funky ways. So my friend and I were driving on the freeway. On the freeway, there's traffic, and we're driving this way, and a freaking duck, one single duck is flying this way, just like this much over the cars, like the opposite way. And I was like, that's strange. Like, just one duck flying the opposite way. I was like, okay. And then when we were coming back on the freeway, traffic, everything, we look, she's like, oh, a dragonfly. I'm like, that's weird. A dragonfly in the sea of traffic. In California, we're in California, there's a lot of traffic. A dragonfly on the freeway. I'm like, that's not normal. Okay?
But somebody need a spirit message.
Yeah, the message was, like abundance is coming through by being original, going your own way, creating your own illusions, creating your reality, different things like that.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Is there duck medicine?
There is duck medicine. Duck medicine is, I'm going to have to look it up again. I'm not too sure, but I do know abundance is intermingled in there.
Okay.
Oh, you know what else is really cool? how like all the crystals, they hold a lot of the same properties, but certain properties are more enhanced.
Yeah.
That's how it is in animal medicine as well.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, right? Isn't that cool?
I didn't know that.
Little tiny nugget for everybody. But anyways, yeah, so sweet. Yeah. What else? Oh, so the interconnectedness and stuff like that too. So when you have your team of healers and you're on this healing journey or wherever you are, it seems like a lot of the people that come through, or even if you are a healer in your life, a lot of the people that come through are on the same path as you. They're dealing with basically the same type of medicine or the same type of stuff as the person. There's always like a common ground for the people who start to come through.
Yeah, you start attracting a certain type of person, and I think it's also important to see whatever people we are bringing in, because sometimes we do feel like, oh, life is happening to me. But there is that power, again, that empowerment back of, okay, if there are these people that I'm drawing to me, let's say not so nice men, what am I continuing to feed in my thoughts that are attracting that kind of person? So that's also, I think, important to see. If you're having blessings and wonderful, positive people coming through, it's because you're being that way outward.
Yeah.
Right. As within, so without, as above, so below. It's the same. Because the frequency always has to match. So we're always on this frequency. So everything has to match that frequency.
That makes sense.
Sweet. What else should we talk about? That's pretty much it. The interconnectedness, the weaving of the beautiful blanket.
The synchronicities.
And finding your tribe.
Finding your tribe. Because that's what happened too. If you want to think about it this way too, like there's the divine, right? That divine flame, that divine spark. And it splits and it splits because each one of us holds that divine spark inside of us. And so we are all one. You know, when we take it back that far, we are all one. But we are a unique spark of the divine. So we are experiencing ourselves in whatever way the divine wanted to experience. And it always goes back to love.
Yeah.
Because there's different sparks of love, or, you know. So how beautiful is that to be like soully connected, you know, and you're never alone. And there are people out there. But yeah, the mind, body, and spiritual is like super important in all aspects of life, interconnected or not.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, with you mentioning space.
Also, I feel like the interconnectedness also, that's how it works with virtual sessions and stuff like that. So we find that frequency to connect to and we're in on, and then the healing moves through that frequency to the other person. So it doesn't matter if you are here in person in California or clear across the world. The healing still resonates. The healing, everything still gets where it needs to go because of that frequency.
Yeah, and you're holding the space.
And holding the space for it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank you, being connected. So it's beautiful to have your own individual moment, life experiences, but I do think that's super important to reiterate on is how we're all connected. So how does everyone feel that we are all connected?
Oh, I love it because I think it's hilarious that there's a group of weirdos like myself and that sometimes we're answering each other's questions without even verbalizing it and just being such on the same wave and all coming together at the same time. It's like, well, I was thinking that.
Yeah, that's the same for me. It's a lot of confirmations and a lot of, oh, okay, we are in this together, for real. Like, we don't have to do it alone.
Yeah.
Do you guys notice that difference of energy versus thought? Meaning, you don't even question the person anymore because you feel their energy versus
100%.
the thoughts. Yeah, you're just like, oh, I just know her. Like, I
Yeah.
know what they're thinking. I know what they're feeling. And like, there's just a resonance.
I feel like in that aspect, that's when we're really learning to get out of the mind and into the heart, because in the heart is where we discern all the information.
Exactly. It's understanding people on a deeper level versus like what they're showing you physically, what they're saying physically. There's always an energy behind it. And I think that's actually the coolest part about being psychic is you get to understand a person so much deeper by like tapping into the heart space.
Well, just for the mundane, when I walked in the door today, Santy's always being pulled in 20 different directions. And just by
so much to do.
Walking in the door and taking a breath and looking at Santy, it was like, okay, I need to calm down. I need to come back. And it's just, we're able to do that to each other because like we all bring different aspects. And so that helps Santy ground.
Yeah, that was amazing. I was in here. I was like, oh, and this and that and all these things. And Holly's like, and I was like, oh, yeah.
Just breathe.
Yeah,
It's okay.
there I am. That's
We're
what she
good.
said. Just breathe. I was like, oh, yeah.
We're good.
We're good.
Yeah, Kristen and I do that for each other too. Like you mentioned it earlier, matching the frequencies. So Kristen and I, if one of us is maybe feeling a little down or like working through something, the other's like, hey, come up here. Like, you know how this feels, you know what this is like, and so the other will match. And it's beautiful because we just continuously like build ladders for each other and individually too.
That's beautiful. I love that. Build ladders for each other.
Yeah.
Versus
Another notch in the rope.
Versus pulling people down, which is a lot of what society teaches us to do. Like, oh yeah, backstab someone so that you can get a raise. Like, why do we have to do that?
Yeah. No, we just went through the same thing where she was getting a little too much in her head. And I said, you're welcome to be there, but we all know you're going to get here. And it was like, oh yeah, okay, give me a moment. I'm going to cry, but then I'm okay.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to deny the feelings.
No,
But
you don't want to
live
stuff
in
them
it.
down. No.
You need to work through them.
Yeah, definitely. We are human. We are human beings. And we are emotionally driven. That's where we draw strength from, is emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yay.
Good talk.
Woo! All right, everybody. Pep talk for the day. We are all one.
Yeah,
we're all, there's so much love out there. And that's, if you don't know where you want to go, like that love frequency, just tapping into that, like, is the best way to go. Always. Love always wins. The truth always comes out, no matter how far it's got to go and uncomfortable you got to get. That love will always
be at the core.
Prosper, like, shine through, definitely.
Yay!
I think that was a great topic. Anything?
No, until next week.
Until next week, love, 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 love. Please go to mamasantyshouse.com and sign up with our Healing House community so you can stay up to date with all the fun stuff, all the haps that's going on. Please reach out if you want whatever, if you just want to talk, whatever it is, and then you can follow us on all of our socials at Mama Santy's House. We'll see you next Friday.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Viernes.
Bye.
Bye. Okay.
Look at the other one.
Okay. Boop.